today. It's great. Oh, Hart, you're still on restriction. I can't go live on your page.
Yeah, no, no.
Let me go ahead and remove it, and we're gonna put it on a different one. Okay, fixed. You know what? I'm not even cutting into the live stuff or doing any other extra crap. we're just gonna shoot straight from the hip to start. Uh, that's right. It's a random live right here on Saturday night. It's the Crayola Sec Harsh Reality with just Crayola Sec and Hart, Junior, Jay. Uh, there's no Harsh. We don't know where he is. He's around here somewhere. He was supposed to be here, but he's not here. Uh, yeah, so that's about it. I guess I need to go ahead and switch over to the main screen. There we go. Hey guys, as with me as always, there's Junior, Hart Honer, and JC Bellick, fresh from Australia, Manitoba, Canada, and down the hallway from me. How you guys doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, that was so climactic. Thank you all for that. That was wonderful.
I'm alive.
Well, that's always a good thing. I mean, it would be bad if I mean, that would be kind of strange if you were dead in here. I'm just saying, you know. Hey, Mr. Robert Walker, how are you? Good to see you tonight. If you haven't done it already, please go around and spread the word, share the pages to your comments, or not comments to your pages, your profiles, or whatever. Yeah, that stuff. The Facebook garbage, you know that thing. Let's move this over a little bit here. Let's do some little bit of live editing right here, live on the air, because I'm just special that way. So me and Hart were talking. We were talking about some of his art. And, oh, I see you moved the light. You see the difference in the camera now?
Yeah, just changed it up a bit.
Yeah, with the light behind it, that's what I was saying. If the light's behind your camera, it highlights everything. If it's in front of your camera, it has a tendency to kind of, I don't know why it's like that, but yeah. When you put the light behind the camera, it lights everything up, you know.
Oh, I was kind of, I didn't want to show people much. You don't need to see me in high def.
In high def? Well, if you see it in low def, you can't appreciate the actual artwork.
Yeah, I know. That's just forget me.
Wow. You make me feel inadequate to do all this work for nothing. To try and make y'all look good for no reason. My feelings are crushed now. I bet y'all know what happened to Harsh. Harsh probably fell asleep, guys. So he's the one that normally writes the posts for these lives, and he's got all these fancy hashtags and stuff like that. And I don't even go back and look at them half the time, so I couldn't tell you what they were in the first place. So I don't ever put them on the lives. So Harsh, if you're going to be mad at me for not doing all of that fancy stuff like you do, but you know what? You shouldn't have fell asleep.
the hashtag things are beyond me too. He probably has like a click and paste where it's just, I don't know.
I don't know. I do know people click on them. A certain somebody referred to that earlier today about how he clicks on all of the hashtags and sees how many negative things have been said about him within the last 2 months. I'm not going to mention
I don't
names, but
agree with a lot of the terminologies and labels that they use for the hashtags, anyways. And I'd rather use different. So, like, I mean, they won't come up if I make my own.
well, no, I mean, but I'll make up like random hashtags too sometimes. Like, hey, this is a hashtag. Just weird stuff like that. Hashtag. Yeah,
I don't like
hashtag
claiming
follow me
things.
if you can find me. Hashtag the FBI is watching. Hashtag there's a meth head in Kentucky that makes tea out of weeds off the side of the road.
See, I don't even know. Is there capital letters allowed in hashtags? What's the protocol?
I have no idea. I still, and I try to keep myself like technically apt or technology apt or however I'm high. So whatever the hell I say, I'm not going to be held responsible for. I'm just going to use that as a disclaimer ahead of time. But it, I never really did understand the principle behind hashtags because I never click on them anyway. 9 times out of 10, I never click on them because I really don't care. Hashtag my belief. Hashtag I don't give a crap. I almost said the
I
S
just,
word. Sorry, guys.
I just know that people like to put it in front of whatever they're saying, and it automatically makes it funny or something. Like hashtag Scott Saunier is too old for hashtags.
That should be a hashtag. That should be a that is a good hashtag. Hart, thank you for that. Jeez.
Oh, if you can keep up on the comments, I can read. I
Let's see.
view them. I can read. It's just I can.
Robert Walker says cowboy, and I don't know what that's referring to. If he's referring to the Cowboys or something like that, I don't know. Yeah, well, there's Junior's opinion of the Cowboys.
And his screen is like a dead cowboy.
No, it's like an evil skull cowboy or something. I don't know. What is that? What is that picture?
No, that's a mafia.
It's a
Cowboy.
mafia cowboy?
Yeah, if you actually look at it.
I can't make out the details on it. For some reason, Zoom is being a butt, and I can't see your picture very clearly.
It looks fuzzy.
You'd be able to click on it and make me like full screen or something. You can see it.
Let's see. No, it's here. No, it didn't change it at all. That didn't change it at all. It's still blurry. So what are we doing? Are we doing some headlines tonight? Because I didn't even look at any yet. Harsh is normally here. He normally kind of keeps me Oh, well, the FBI searched the Biden home, found more documents marked classified. Wow. I don't know what that was. The FBI searched President Joe Biden's home in Wilmington, Delaware on Friday and located 6 additional documents containing classified markings and also took possession of some of his notes, the president's lawyer said on Saturday. The documents taken by the FBI spanned Biden's time in the Senate and vice presidency. While the notes dated to his time as vice president, said Bob Bauer, the president's personal lawyer, he added that the search of the entire premises lasted nearly 13 hours. The level of classification and whether the documents removed by the FBI remain classified was not immediately clear as the Justice Department reviews the records. The extraordinary search followed more than a week after Biden's attorneys found 6 classified documents in the president's home library from his time as vice president, and nearly 3 months after lawyers found a small number of classified records at his former offices at the Penn Biden Center in Washington. It came a day after Biden maintained that there's no there on the document discoveries, whatever the hell that means, which have become a political headache as he prepares to launch a re-election bid and undercut his efforts to portray an image of proprietary to the American public after the tumultuous presidency of his predecessor, Donald Trump. We found a handful of documents were filed in the wrong place, Biden told reporters Thursday in California. We immediately turned them over to the archives and the Justice Department. Biden added that he was fully cooperating and looking forward to getting this resolved quickly. The president and First Lady Jill Biden were not at the home when it was searched. They were spending the weekend at their home in Rehoboth Beach, Delaware. It remains to be seen whether additional searches by federal officers of other locations might be conducted. Biden's personal attorneys previously conducted a search of the Rehoboth Beach residence and said they did not find any official documents or classified records. The Biden investigation has also complicated the Justice Department's probe into Trump's retention of classified documents and official records after he left office. The Justice Department says Trump took hundreds of records marked classified with him upon leaving the White House in early 2021 and resisted months of requests to return them to the government, and that it had to obtain a search warrant to retrieve them. I don't know if I should continue reading this. I mean, so they're gonna still try to say that it was worse than, it's not as bad as what Trump did. This man literally stored classified documents and just forgot they were there. You know, I mean,
It was a headache. I don't want to do. Put him in the ground.
I think the key difference with this is that Trump knew he had them and didn't want to give them back, and Biden didn't even know he had them.
See,
which one's worse in that situation?
See, with my view, and supposedly what's supposed to be a truthful and honest government, that there would be no classified documents whatsoever, and that everything would be 100% transparent.
You would think. But at the same time, I mean,
you know, and if there's war plans, well, that's something that generals and the actual military.
Okay, well, Joe Logan says, as forgetful as Biden is, he probably just forgot to leave them at the White House or wherever. Okay, well, if that's the case, then he shouldn't be privy to access of those documents in the first place. I mean, that's not a good stance to take. Well, he's just forgetful. Well, then why is he doing it? Why does he even have access to it? Now, you're actually right. Joe says nothing will happen to any politicians who break the law. You're right. You're right. I mean, this whole Trump thing, you know, the January 6th crap. Now Biden with classified documents. I mean, almost every presidency has been surrounded in some type of scandal or. I mean, it never ends.
Yeah, no one ever pays for whatever scandal that they do have, and there's just
And,
tons. They're riddled with scandals.
it's so funny that the American population now at this point is so just like so numb to all of the crap these people do now. 40 years ago, Biden, with the track record with his son as a crackhead and everything else, would have never even gotten close to that office, much less elected to it. You know, now it's just like everybody's so numb. It's like, man, whatever. Yeah, he sounds good enough. Put him in there. You know, I mean, it's.
Desensitized, demoralized.
Robert says, I think once you're president, you really don't think much about if something's classified or not, other than when talking to the press, etc. Yeah, I can see that. But again, we go back to the same thing that I was saying earlier. This man didn't even realize he had the documents. You know, I mean, he's like, and then when he was questioned about him, he's like, well, I don't even remember what was in them. Well, then why do you even have access to them? I mean,
did you see any of these signing things that he does? Like, he ain't reading. He doesn't even know what he signed. They hand him paperwork, and like he just sign stuff. He just signs stuff. That's all he does. They feed him soup and crackers, and he signs stuff.
Joe Logan says it's all a conspiracy to keep people from watching what they should be worried about. And you're right. You're right. You're 100% correct. It is. It's all a diversion. All of this stuff is designed as some type of diversion. You know, I mean, you can't tell me that somebody like the president of the United States that should be competent enough to know that classified documents do not belong locked in a garage next to his 67 Corvette. Now, with that being said, we either have a serious disconnect or this is just straight up a diversion tactic. One of the two. There's no in between here. And if it is a diversion tactic, what is it diverting from? Because, I mean, we all pretty much see everything else that is going on. You know? That would be my question. I think this man just has dementia to the point to where he should not be declared fit to be president.
Like my access to video and I don't view this man daily. It may be limited, but it seems like he can't even finish an entire sentence. You know, like that's what.
And you know this. Joe Logan says Biden was put in office because he's easier to control because he doesn't know what he's supposed to be doing. And you know, I hate to say it, but recently with all the dumb stuff that he's been doing, I would have to agree with you at this point. It's very easy to take somebody with dementia and say, hey, come over here. You're supposed to be over here. Okay. You know, I mean.
But said it before, I say it again. He is the best actor. He's played everyone. He's got everyone on. He's the best actor. It's just an amazing actor. Wow.
Well, and that's all of them, really. I mean, all of them are actors.
It's like Rain Man, but different, you know?
And again, you're right, Joe. Joe says Biden should have been mandatorily retired years ago. And you're right. So has Nancy Pelosi. She should have been retired. You know, all of them. You know, even it doesn't matter what side of the fence they're on. I mean, if you want the retirement age is supposed to be 65 years old and they want to up it to 72, whatever. You're 89. You should not be running anything to do with the country. You know, I mean, come on. If normal people are supposed to retire at 65 to 70 years old, at 89, you should be in bed somewhere.
Like how? Oh. It just it makes me that's old, right? You know, like how often does he have to go to the bathroom? Like seriously, this you know he can't even
Are
probably
you
run that,
are you
or he has
implying
to
that he has
run
a
to.
weak bladder? Is that what you're? And you heard it here first, right here on the Crayola Sec Harsh Reality. Biden has a weak bladder.
You know, well, I know my grandpa. You know, at that age, he with the prune juice, or cranberry juice, prunes. You know, he did this stuff to keep on the regular, yo.
Oh goodness. Yep, that's what it is. Yeah, that's what we all should do right now. Go out to the stock market and buy stock in prune juice. Joe Logan says the Bushes looked an awful lot alike. Makes me wonder if it was actually father and son. Well, I mean, to be fair, we had George Bush and then George W. And George W. was just Dan Quayle in a different wrapper. I mean, he was just as dumb. You know, fool me once, don't fool me again, and you fool me twice, I got fooled. What? Just shut up. Just go away.
That's the thing, though. They ain't going away,
No,
and
I
they
know.
haven't
I'm
gone.
just saying. It's just
They're still players as such. Like you had senior there, uh, years ago, maybe even before I was born. He was pro one of his speeches, or numerous of his speeches, were promoting of the New World Order, and we must bring
well,
forth the New World Order.
well.
So like he is heavily invested in that thing coming through.
Look at this though. I mean, we went from having somebody like I would have to say like esteemed leaders in a sense, people who could speak eloquently and stuff like that, like Ronald Reagan. And I'm not saying he was a good president or anything. He just knew how to talk, you know. And then we had George Bush, who was not all that bad. And then we had Bill Clinton, who was okay. You know, that whole Monica Lewinsky crap was pretty dumb. I mean, he should have
Uh,
known better. The rest of the
Does
presidents knew how to do
show
stuff
how
like that
times
and get away
change,
with
though.
it. Well, I mean, the rest of the presidents knew how to get away with stuff like that, but apparently he couldn't figure it out. I mean, look at John F. Kennedy and Marilyn Monroe. I mean, that was almost public information, and it was still never said in public. I mean, come on. And then we go from him to George W. Bush, and then we go from George W. Bush to Barack Obama, and it's just progressively starting to get worse. Then we go to Donald Trump, and it becomes a comedy at this point. And now we have Dementia Joe. Where are these people coming from? That's what I want to know. And why won't they go back?
It's more of a circus clown show that is showing for what it is. But it's being accepted though.
Well, yeah, and that's the scary part about it. I mean, it's widely the American population has become so numb and so misinformed and so just disorganized that they look at this and they're numb to it, so they don't even care anymore. They're more worried about whether their Tesla is going to be able to charge overnight because the power grid is failing because too many people are running their air conditioners. You know, I mean, it's crazy. It really is. I mean, nobody realizes what all this country is actually going through right now. You know, and it's crazy. We have people that's been suffering with inflation costs for almost a year now, over a year now in some cases. And yeah, the prices of things are starting to come down, but instead of injecting a few $1 billion into the economy here, he sends several $1 billion to Ukraine instead. We did that twice, Bert. Bert says we need to elect a celebrity. We did it twice. We did. Ronald Reagan was an actor.
He's pulling the chain there.
Yeah, Ronald Reagan was an actor, and Trump was. I mean, he was a celebrity.
It ain't the answer.
I think we should elect Arnold Schwarzenegger as president.
Actors putting forth enactments. That's what they're showing.
Bert, we need to elect Jesse Ventura. That would make the ultimate president. And we can, since Vince McMahon decided to retire, I think, from what I understood, Vince McMahon retired. With that being the case, we can have him with the WWE as President Jesse, and that would be perfect. I mean, you know, we can make it like this big show, because that's pretty much what it is now. Anyway, I mean,
I'm viewing that now. Imagining it. Jesse Ventura.
It would just McMahon. It would be the exact same as it is now.
Wrestling as the presidency. That's the future to come.
Could you imagine, like, arenas with thousands of people in them, with Secret Service everywhere?
And Vince McMahon in his walk.
Right. Well, Vince would have to come out of retirement just for that. I mean, that would just be the ultimate, you know.
More old folk, I mean, they're both old too. Like, oh, jeez.
Right. Right. I mean, that's the funny part about it. You know, I mean, come on. It would be the exact same as a normal presidency, except it would have more of a storyline to it that we could watch on TV. So at least we'd get some entertainment out of it for a change, instead of just watching them destroy the country with no context. Oh yeah, we could like arrange like battle royales between different leaders of different countries and have them like duke it out in a professional wrestling type ring. We get Vladimir Putin.
That's something I'd like to actually view, is Putin go and fight some of these world leaders, man. I bet you give them a good go, man. That looks like a tough dude.
That would be brilliant. Could you see that? We'd fly Vladimir over here and we'd have like WrestleMania like 4 million. Jesse Ventura versus Vladimir Putin.
Make it true.
Or we could always get Joe Rogan and we'd get the UFC involved.
If you build it, they will come. Must follow your dreams.
Joe, I completely agree with Joe. Rogan says they're getting these people from psych hospitals. I agree. I don't know if you're referring to us or the politicians, but it's probably both in both accounts. Yes, we're probably from psych hospitals. Yeah.
See, you know, it's. See, you don't like to. He said before we started that he doesn't like to talk about memes on air. Well, the meme that I'm thinking of right now is, so what, that you're telling me that they hire these pedos so that they can blackmail them and keep them under their thumb, or however Columbo says it.
Yes. For a short answer, yes.
And that's pretty much what it is. It's like as long as Joe's a good sniffer, they're going to keep that sniffer around.
I mean, it's just been like one comedy act after another, with this, and it's actually starting to get funny and scary all at the same time. I know, Joe. I know you meant the politicians, or is Joe, or as Joe likes to spell it out, the politrictions.
Mm.
I like that. That's politricksters. Polytricksters. There you go. That sounds like the band of an up and coming um, open marriage heavy metal group. The Polytricksters.
Uh, that would be great, I think.
So, I mean, what's to come next? I mean, so he has tons of these classified documents in his house. What is the Justice Department's next move? Uh, I mean, what are they going to actually do about it, if anything?
See, this is another scary thing. How much classified, how much secrets do they have? Is he just bathing in them? I'm secret rich.
Yeah, I mean,
I got secrets. But yeah, no, it's all just trick. He ain't doing nothing. Theater. He ain't controlling anything. He can't control anything. He can't even control the sentence.
I can control your mind.
well, they think they can.
He seems to be apt to apt to do that. I don't know. He's just somehow tricked them.
And for years, congratulations, America. We've been brainwashed for 40 something years.
Yes.
My name.
Sorry.
Isn't that a thing that Americans are supposed to be pissed off at? Is no long term politicians is like the actual make it turning out, and they're not
They're
supposed to be there.
really and truthfully, I mean, there's term limits on the presidency to prevent like a tyrannical type rule or like a dictatorship. So that's why there's term limits for presidents. But what people don't get is that they need term limits for Congress too. If you're a representative, and I'm completely okay with them being able to serve like 3 or 4 terms in office and then have to take one term off. And if they want to run again and get reelected, they can. But that would actually weed out the ones that don't have the greater good of the American public at heart. Because if they don't get it right the first time, they don't get reelected the second, third, fourth, and fifth time. You know, I'm sorry, that would make sense. So we can't do that.
I do nothing but laugh.
And that's the sad thing about it, to sit here and just laugh, because there's nothing else we can actually do about it, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can't make sense out of insanity. It's literally impossible.
Right? It is. It is. Bert, yes, it is sometimes fun to guess the script, but it no longer becomes fun whenever your livelihood is involved in that script.
It does seem to like because it's the sides, right? Eventually, both sides get hurt. There's a group of beings that, and that's what it's choosing. What group of being get hurt from the chosen party that is then eventually within the first within the whatever amount of time, the other side catches up and everyone's still being hooped and hurt. And, so yeah, there does seem to be a thing of choosing who gets hurt first.
Yeah, you're right. Joe Logan says, I believe they're selected, not elected. And you're right. I mean, it's always this weird pattern. You'll have like one president that'll do 2 terms in a row, and then he goes away forever. The opposing side gets elected. Um, Depending on how bad they are, they go away for 1 term. Uh, then normally the other party gets elected. Uh, then it reverses again, and it's a weird pattern. If you ever look at the way the presidencies run in the United States, and it's always like the vice president of the person who screwed it all up the last time that runs and gets elected president the next go around. You know, it's the only one that didn't happen with was like Dan Quayle.
It's like an offbeat game of Pong.
It is, but it always amounts to the same result.
Yeah.
Joe Logan says Dems and Republicans are the 2 wings of the same bird, and the independents are the tail feathers of that bird. So would that make the moderates the heart of the bird? I mean, if the tail feathers, I guess you could say the independents would be the butt, for lack of a better way of putting it, of the bird.
Pretty wasteful, anyways.
I'll take the chest of a bird any day over the wing. That's right.
Oh, see, like this. Got a different boat up here. What you talking about here in Canada? Talking is like this dictator just doesn't seem to leave, or it's just like he's forever in office. And even the last election, I suppose the thing is like, who is the actual opposition?
But in Canada, they don't have term limits either, do they?
Hey,
I said they don't have term limits up there, though, do they? Like,
it's supposed to be like 2, but I think he like messed around with him. It seems like we're just stuck with the dictator of Justina Castro.
how long has he been president there, or prime minister?
It seems like forever. It's so someone search that up. I can't do this. I'm scared.
I don't. I mean, so if he monkeyed around and did away with the term limits in Canada, who's to say that won't be happening here soon? And if that does happen, who are we going to have in office at that time? I don't think Biden has enough brain power to actually do something like that at this point, but I'm sure his predecessor would. And let's just hope it's not.
To keep that puppet going for like.
If that's the case, then the next president's going to be Kamala Harris. If they want to keep that narrative going, that's the direction we're headed. And this woman is fascinated by yellow school buses. So I mean, it's just yeah, we're in for some fun around here.
Mm.
Oh damn! I thought I was me.
No, not today, sir. Not today.
It it would be nice if well, I don't know if it'd be nice. You know, at least a change of scenery. If Harsh was right, then like there is a big change of office at the 20th. Or no,
Well,
it's not what's supposed to happen. It's not supposed. Didn't he predict for today?
yes,
Is that
today
why
is
he's
the
not
21st.
joining?
Today is the 21st. I just realized that. I think you broke the code as to why Harshmed is MIA tonight is because it's the 21st, and this is the day he predicted that Biden would resign from office.
Oh, sorry, Harsh.
Well, I mean, today's not over yet. It's only 8:47 p.m. Central Standard Time. You know, so he has some time.
See, in the end of the year ain't done yet. Isn't the Simpsons like? Isn't he supposed to die sometime?
I have no idea. What are you doing holding a picture of Steven to the screen?
I'm looking at his profile because he's the only one that hasn't blocked me yet. Bill Bunton blocked me months ago.
Jeez. That's funny. No, I mean, okay, so if Harsh's prediction is true, we still have until midnight tonight for this to happen. And since Biden is on East Coast time, we'll say 11 o'clock Central Standard Time. If Biden hadn't stepped down, then he says, then it'll be January 31st. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But I really don't see him just up and resigning. I really think he's going to bid for re-election. He's going to stay in there.
What? You've been busy.
I think that's what it is. Because, I mean, right now he's talking about re-election bids already. So why would this man resign? And the public is not too faithful with Kamala. So,
And we're forgetting the Trump card.
I haven't really heard much about that here lately. So I'm wondering if that's kind of like calming down some, or is this the Biden crap, the deflection that Trump needed to get everybody off of his butt for a little while, or something to that effect? I'm not sure what's going on there. It's been a weird. Yeah, it's been a weird start to 2023 already.
You know, it's at least he's upfront with his sexual harassment. You know, like just grab him. Yeah.
That's not how it's supposed to work, Hart. That is something you shouldn't have to be upfront about.
That's what he said.
But you know why you shouldn't have to be upfront about it? Because you shouldn't do things like that.
That was your ex-president, and why do they keep getting called president after they're done their term? Why do they?
I don't know why. That's part of it. That's the pattern. That's the pattern I was referring to earlier. You know.
Yeah, y'all got a sad history that's your present.
Tell me about it. I live it every day. It's ridiculous. Joe Logan says they could use AI to do Biden's talking for him. Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be pretty much the same. Nobody would understand it anyway. So I guess it would still work.
Oh, don't go to actual news. I'm just going to go off of memory. CBC had it. Saskatchewan father, divorced father, got to win the choice granted by the judicial system for his child that is with the mother to be unwantedly vaccinated uh, against her will because it's for the good of everyone.
That's crazy.
So that's Canada.
Jesus. So they can force you to take the vaccine now there. That's nice.
If you're somewhat a parent, well, probably a male and a father of the child.
I'm a dinosaur. Leave me alone.
Any other news?
Yeah, it's more of the same crap though. Unfortunately.
Inflation. Oh,
Welcome to my
so how should we bug hard or harsh? Oh, frick, I even called him wrong. How should we bug harsh about this night?
I don't know. I don't even know where Harsh is right now. Let's see. Let's try this again. See, I bet she's not going to answer though.
Maybe we'll ask the audience. Has it been smooth and not harsh? Without harsh?
Has it been non-harsh without harsh? He's not going to answer the phone. I don't even know why I'm wasting my time. Eh. How rude.
How weird.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're at the what is it? The 48-minute mark. Y'all want to keep going, or y'all want to shut it down? I'm ready to go to bed. I'm tired. It's Saturday night, and I'm boring. Bert says maybe he was kidnapped by some hillbilly. That's right. You heard it here first. Bill Bunning finally made it to Illinois.
Or
It was a long walk, but he finally did it.
It was a long, long adventure. A lot of sidewalks, pedals, ditches, a lot of grass for him to travel through, a lot of grass for him to pick and weeds. Oh, a lot of potions you could have made.
Jesus. What are we looking at, Jamie?
he's muted, so he can't.
I know.
Even
I
tell
can't.
us.
You can't tell us what we're looking at.
He's
It's a
like, hey,
bird.
look.
Oh. It's a bird. That's not. Birds aren't real, Jamie. Go shoot it quickly.
My name is
Look at
Bill, and I have
these.
this message.
Really, I've rescued birds. They have insides and guts and stuff. For real. They're
This
real.
man makes homemade tea out of weeds off the side of the road, and, and he's a conspiracy theorist. He thinks 5G caused an aneurysm in his brain's daughter.
In his brain starter.
I mean, his daughter's brain. Same thing.
Oh,
5G caused an aneurysm, and he died. And that's what killed her. But it's mighty funny that the coroner's office hasn't released the actual cause of death yet, because they're leaning to actually rule it as an overdose. Why lie about that? If your daughter has a problem, she has a problem, Bill. Don't lie about it, please.
Don't call me a problem. My son died.
I mourn any loss of life, and just have hopes that each are to learn of what they are required on their path.
That never happens. That never happens, because you always run into some cynical butthead
It's
like
usually
myself.
on their deathbed. And it's like, that's what I was supposed to do.
Yeah, it's a little too far, too late. Then at that point, isn't it?
But that's what I wish, and to those like Carl Schwab and George Soros, it's uncontrollable diarrhea and gridlock traffic.
Oh, that sounds wonderful. Why would we want to? No, that's horrible.
No, but to at least those those wicked ones, yeah. Bill Gates, put him there. Elon Musk, have him break down in his own freaking Tesla.
That would be fitting. Bill Gates broken down on the side of the road in a Tesla.
I am the Tesla.
I just pictured that. That would be freaking hilarious. He gets an error. He gets a dumb error like unable to charge, charging disabled, and he breaks down on the side of the road somewhere in Seattle, Washington, or wherever the hell he lives.
It then gets trampled by a herd of cows that broke loose from one of the farms that he.
No, not in Washington. It would be like like a herd of moose.
Washington, I don't know. Falling tree.
Well, it would become a scientific question. If a tree falls on Bill Gates in a forest, does he make a sound?
Did it actually happen? Should we try again?
All because his autopilot on his Tesla quit working and he couldn't figure out how to get back home.
It only happens if there's an observer. We need an observer.
Ugh. Yeah. And I think my son wants ice cream now.
Yeah, I got the munchies. Leave me alone. And that's the only place that actually serves good ice cream, so leave me alone. And not expensive.
No, it's not expensive, but the cool part about it is that they have these bowls. Like, you can order ice cream bowl, and the bowl is actually made out of the waffle cone.
Mm.
So it's like really freaking awesome ice cream with like this really awesome waffle cone. And they got all these
Someone got
different
that ass
toppings.
calm.
And and that's my dog in the background paging me.
It's pee time. Pee.
No, he's out. He's actually probably playing with one of the other dogs.
Yeah.
He's just
Well,
He's goofy as I don't know what, Hart. You ought to see him. He barrels through the house and just kind of like bounces everywhere, and like his legs, he can't use them right yet, and he's tall and lanky, and he just kind of like falls over. And
what's the breed or mixture breed?
he's like a beagle blue tick hound. He's like part beagle, part blue tick. And we have another one. Her name is Dixie, but she's like a dwarf. She almost looks like a beagle and a weenie dog mixed together in a way.
Both cartoon dogs. And
Yeah.
so out with it.
But they're awesome little dogs. And then we have Harry, which is a wire hair fox terrier, and he's just like an old ornery little turd. He gets mad at everybody.
He's like my
growls.
little gnome in a way. When
Yeah,
he comes in my
yeah, because he'll go in Scott Ryan's room and like just jump into bed and go to sleep. Like doesn't say anything to anyone. You know, like screw you, I'm going to bed. He's our old man.
That almost sounds tame for a terrier. I was going to say.
Oh,
like
he's not.
Terriers.
He's not. A fly flies by the window. He freaks out and starts going nuts.
Just like the name, they're little terrors. Oh, they're they're handfuls.
That's what he does. He goes ballistic. A car passes in front of the house, he goes crazy. And then what happens is it's like this domino effect, because he'll start going crazy, and then Dixie starts barking like crazy. But Pluto, which is the youngest one, he won't do it. The only time he barks is when he sees somebody. If a car passes on the road or something, he looks at the other two barking like, will y'all just shut up?
Be aware, dog. Or
he's just so goofy, though. Because, like I said, he still hasn't learned to use his legs fully yet. And it's so funny to watch him. Because he, like, falls over and stuff.
He's supposed to be that small. For real, you know.
No, he's big. He's actually taller than the fox terrier.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
You know, he's actually pretty big, but he can't jump into bed. He's scared to jump up into the bed. Poor little guy. But we've had him since he was tiny. He was real little when we first brought him over. And that is Dixie's brother.
There you go. Your government's a tyrannical WW, or it's a wrestling extravaganza, and puppies are awesome.
We're going to host WrestleMania 75. It's going to be Jesse Ventura versus Vladimir Putin.
And
live on pay-per-view.
Harsh's word has what a couple of hours left for prediction to play out.
Yep, Harsh now has let's see, we're going by Eastern time. Harsh's prediction now has roughly 3 hours left to go.
Yeah, he's in Delaware.
Or roughly, actually, if we're going by Eastern time, he has 2 hours left to go. Because he's in Delaware. So, Harsh, you got 2 hours left to see if your prediction comes true or not. And we are at the 1 hour mark. I'm going to go ahead and call it, man. I am tired. I want ice cream too now, thanks to my son. Bastard.
Ice cream. I'm just picturing Harsh drunkenly yelling at the phone that is listening to us. And
because he
What's
can't
the
get it
reason
to
why
work.
he's not here? He's getting drunk.
It could be that. You never know with him. You know, he might have just like said, "Oh yeah, we're going live at 7:30," and then just goes out to get drunk
Psych.
instead.
My life was a lie.
Oh, jeez. Anyway, it was fun tonight. Hart, I am so glad you joined us finally. Jamie, it was a pleasure as always. Junior, I got to deal with you after the call, so it doesn't matter. That's right.
Yeah.
This has been another edition of the Crayola Sec Harsh Reality. WCHR Magic 104.9 FM, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. We're going to call it a night. It's the top of the hour. Well, actually, it's after the hour, 9:06 p.m. January 21st. And we're going to throw you back into some yesterday's R&B. Y'all have a great night.